Well, good afternoon to everybody in Europe. Good morning to the west coast of the United States. My name is Demarine2, and I have the pleasure of inviting you all to 5 days of speed runs by women of the community. Frame Fatale starts today. Thank you all for coming out. This is so exciting, of course. We will be here for the next 5 days with speed runs of all sorts all across the community. So thank you all for being here. Do have a couple of announcements before we get started, of course, just as a reminder that your bits and your subs are what fund this wonderful, wonderful project. So thank you all for your support and your continued support, and we'd love to see that support during the next 5 days. October is going to be Disability Month on Hotfix, so we are working with able gamers to help give disabled gamers a voice and really show off what they can do. So please submit your runs, and of course get more information by typing !Disability Month in chat. Of course, for everybody who is all about AGDQ, I know we're all about the big events. Run and volunteer submissions all open up this Thursday, the 22nd of August. GamesDoneQuick.com/submission-guide will give you more information on submitting your runs, and GamesDoneQuick.com/volunteer/FAQ is going to give you all that information on signing up to volunteer to help out. For anybody who's going to be missing this and does want to see it later, or of course is going to sleep through some of the runs like I certainly will, VODs will be available on YouTube in roughly 2 days after each of the runs, so of course, please go ahead and watch them as well. And of course, I would like to introduce the world record holder for Final Fantasy II GBA, possibly the best Dawn of Souls speedrunner in the world, Nickynoel.
Hey everyone! Yeah, I have the pleasure to kick off our second FF marathon with FF2. Who even came up with that idea? All right. I guess we're ready?
I think we're ready.
All right, so we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So yeah, starting off with mandatory, we are gonna get wrecked very, very horribly fight. Ironically, also fight where some people already reset, because in this game, every fight can be a preemptive or an ambush. So basically, if this fight isn't preemptive, you just lose 6 seconds right from the get-go.
So in Grand Final Fantasy tradition, you can lose time before you even start?
Yeah, correct. You can actually lose time immediately. So yeah, basically 4 friends as usual, just this time. For some reason, only 3 of us got saved. We have Furion, Maria and Guy, and in theory, Maria's brother, Leon. But yeah, Leon is nowhere to be found. We'll meet him later again. He is kind of following a different storyline.
So he's not dead, like we expect him to be after getting stabbed by endgame enemies in the very first scene of the game?
No, we got to name him. Like, plot armor has to be a bit stronger than that. Let's be honest. But yeah. Basically, we ending up on the rebel side out. Where obviously the princess is like, no, you are not allowed to look for Leon. But as the good children, we're obviously not gonna listen.
Yeah, this of course being the first really story-driven Final Fantasy game, like, instead of Final Fantasy 1, which is very, free form, it's basically a D&D campaign. This is actually really story-driven and kind of the first foray for Square into an actual storyline. And so, Nikki, you bought a bunch of shields. What are those useful for? I mean, other than blocking.
They're basically also giving us agility, and agility is awesome for running away from encounters. Also, I'm gonna save because potentially we might die to random encounters here, and I don't want one of my characters to die here. So yeah, basically the first, now heading off to Finn, where we just got wrecked horribly in order to search for Leon. gonna fight everything on the way. One, to level up, and second, because we don't really have the stats to run away at all. We'll have a total of 9 encounters going to Finn and back, which is exactly also the amount we need to gain a stat level up in terms of HP, max HP. Which you might have heard. We actually get stats by getting hit.
Yeah, wait, we don't get experience. I didn't see experience points. Do we not get experience points in this game?
We kinda do, but it's different and it's not explicitly shown. But it's more like experience points in abilities and spells and such.
Yeah, for anybody who's played the Saga Frontier games, it ends up working out like that, where your stats are based upon the use of your abilities in combat, or in some cases out of combat. So at the start of the game, all that we're doing is we're punching everything that's in our way, and we're doing it with a shield equipped in our offhand for now.
Yeah, we could do double damage, basically, if we went without a shield, but we don't really need that, and also having 2 times fist does not count as 2 times. Like, you could equip 2 swords and it would count as 2 times, 2 shields as 2 times, but not 2 fists.
Oh, hey, look, an airship.
Yeah, random airship. Also, did I sufficiently confuse you? Running in circles in a random town? So what's going on is that this game actually has a step route. And it has probably the most lenient step route ever seen in an RPG. Which basically means the step route is 256 cyclic, meaning if you were to waste 256 steps, it's the same as if you waste 0 steps. And which allows you to just always come back, and basically every step counts.
So no matter where you are, in the game, basically every step you take is cycling the 256 step counter for encounter.
Yeah, except doors, teleporters, damaging tiles, basically.
This will sound very familiar to anybody who's played FF1, because it ends up working off of a very similar system. At least for the NES version. It's a little bit different for GBA.
It might be, yeah. In FF1, they gave up with that. Also, FF2, even if you open the menu, it shows you the steps. There it shows you all the steps, so it is not one-on-one comparable that you can just read off your step route from that, necessarily.
Yep, avoiding encounters is, obviously really good, because right now, while we're still punching everything, because everything is weak and we need levels in fists and shields to get through the early and mid-game, later on the game plan is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, and I mean, we did 90 steps, I believe, in that town, but it skips 3 encounters, so even though the encounters here are pretty fast.
Yeah, 12 encounters is still
worth it.
12 encounters is still longer than 9. Alright, everybody, first character death of the run. There's Scott. Scott's dead.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a running theme in this game. People are gonna die. It's kind of a downer.
Yep, unlike the NA FF2, in which most people only pretend to die, in this FF2, people are gonna die. Yeah. So on the way back, I kinda want to take care that guy hopefully reaches level 3, for which we need to take 2 actions and 3 fights total. Which resulting with the fact that I only have 3 fights left, because I did not care on the way to Finn, really. Yeah. I mean, if it doesn't happen, we just lose a bit of time.
Yeah, every level in punching that Nicky gets on a character increases their attack power by 8, which is an incredibly significant amount at this point. I mean, if you were watching early on, the first Hornet she was punching did 3 damage, and now she's doing way more than that.
Yeah, it's actually a bit different. I think the 8 is PSX. But it's like, if you want to get experience at level 2, you need to have at least 2 actions in a fight. If you want to get XP at level 3, you need to take at least 3 actions per fight. Who came up with that? I have no clue. But yeah.
So in order to not take actions with the characters that she does not need getting experience, of course, she is throwing double shields on them, and they're just spamming shields, which don't do any damage. You can't actually hit anything with them, but it also gives them shield experience, which is actually kind of handy.
Yeah, usually you would, like, if you wouldn't go for shields, you would put them into the back row. But yeah, since Furion and Maria only need shield XP anyway, we just give them double shields, which gives them even faster, like, even more shield XP. That comes into handy. So yeah, first things over, everyone gets their promised HP level up. And we are heading back to show, hey, we have been really bad people. But we met the guy that you kind of fell in love with and that you were promised to. I have proof here. Look at the ring.
Hilda, of course, asks if he's alive. The answer to that very quickly is no. Furion is not known for being very subtle, honestly.
No, but at least he also fulfills his request to not tell her that he loves her and she can find someone new, hopefully. We'll never know.
Yep. You'll notice also that in the dialogue, some of the words are red. The word mithril is red, so part of what runs the plot in Final Fantasy II is this keyword system. So, of course, Nicky is going to make sure that she talks to Hilda a second time here and gets the Dreadnought keyword, because otherwise she'll have to double all the way back here later and lose a whole bunch of time. So.
Yeah. I swear, that Dreadnought keyword is the biggest run killer of all times. Like, obviously you can, lose time to bad RNG later on, but, flat out killing and resetting. I think the Dreadnought is the worst.
In the notes for the run that people use, basically the Learn Dreadnought is bolded, italicized in red with 9 exclamation points. Because by the time we need that keyword, we're gonna be 3 towns away.
So yeah, and since we got no menu, our first guest party member, we also get a canoe, which finally lets us go through the country a bit more.
And then we are going to sail along, and we're going to reach the town of Poft.
Yeah. At least we get some nice airship and ship action, so we do not have to walk all this time, which would be pretty annoying.
Yep, and we reach Summit Falls here, so this is our next major location.
Wrong. Okay. So yeah, and here we are gonna finalize our grinding. Quickly gonna count.
And of course Minwoo is a healer who's kind of useful to have in the party for now. You'll notice that he's got 175 hit points. We might not see 175 hit points in this entire run on some of these characters.
Hopefully Guy will have it, but in my last run he didn't, so that can happen. But yeah, our goal is gonna be to have Fizz level 5 and Shield level 5 on Guy, and hopefully... yeah, go ahead and heal. Hopefully Shield level 6 on Furion and Maria. Which allows us for Guy to hit the few early game bosses, which we need to kill with the weapon, and yeah, the shields to run away from everything that we can run away from, which is not gonna be everything.
Yeah, the unrunnable chart for this game in particular is very detailed. Kind of knowing all the encounters, there's a lot more enemy encounters and enemy formations than there are in in FF1. So learning them takes a lot of energy.
Oh, what do you think happened when I started learning this game? The list was so far from complete that I did it all on my own from the scratch.
Yeah, how long have you been running this game, by the way, Nikki?
3 years on and off. It's been quite a while. Ooh, I really should heal.
But yeah, also for everybody, you'll notice that there's actually there's row mechanics in this, but they're different than what you know from other Final Fantasy games. There is a front row and a back row, but you'll notice that every single attack is targeting Guy from these enemies right now. And that is because when you are in the back row, you are untargetable by melee attacks, and you also cannot hit with melee attacks.
Correct. Which is really, really helpful and something we'll be abusing a lot in the speedrun. And the reason why we actually don't need to grind as much.
Right. Your probability of gaining hit points is based upon how much you get hit, basically. How much health you lose during combat. So you're trying to grind up Guy's health by letting him get punched an awful lot, and then using Minwu's fairly deep mana pool to keep him alive as we go along.
Yeah, that's just also the reason why the improvement of only grinding like Guy properly just means that he gets targeted by everything and gets hopefully a bit more max HP. Like the fact that Firion still has more max HP than Guy, even though Guy started this more, is absolutely mind-blowing.
God, getting lucky on maximum HP. It's a thing that you're very used to in your speedruns.
Okay, so yeah, this is the last encounter. We could potentially do one level per encounter, but then we'll need to do a lot more actions than we do right now.
Yeah, but then of course you have to sort of fuss at things a little bit more, and that takes a lot of energy and a lot of time.
Yeah, this is just the fastest way to do it. Ironically, in PSP, it's even faster for some reason. The XP gain is just a bit higher. Alright, and with that we should be done with the grind now. Firion, Maria... And you're telling me that I miscounted, right? No. What? I'm just...
That looks like five in bare hands on Guy. I think you're good, right? Or
Yeah,
did you
I'm
miscount
good.
counters?
I just was probably looking for capital G leveling up. Because usually that's what I shorten them to, but it was lowercase I.
Got it.
Kind of confusing myself. So yeah, now I just run through here, picking up chests on the way to get some gil. Because we will be having a lot of gil later on, but before we'll be able to get that, we'll have to make with a small amount.
Yeah, we'll need just enough money to get the supplies necessary to get to the point where we can have an infinite amount of money, basically, but that'll be a little bit later.
Yeah, so here we meet Paul. Paul is kind of a thief, like the Robin Hood kind of thief, but he is also completely random. Like, he just casually shows up 3 times, and you don't really know why he's there. And what he's doing. But yeah, the other 2 times we meet him, he is kind of more important.
But yeah, there's no need to take any more encounters at this point, and thankfully at this part of the game everything's runnable, especially green slimes, which we can't even touch at this point.
Yeah, you don't want to fight green slimes. What am I doing? Formation. So yeah, now we're coming up to like the first boss, I would say, and this guy in casual is a pain. If I can say so, cause yeah, you need to like you basically need to have this at level 5 in order to deal considerable damage to him. Like if you try with his level 4, if you try low level spells, it's just not gonna happen. So yeah, Menu doesn't die because he has much HP. All we do is cast Protect on Guy so that he doesn't get damaged by the physical attack. And the other two go to front row just because we don't want in turn 1 for Guy to get sniped.
Yeah, because of course attacks can be distributed equally across everybody in the front row, so if you have all 4 characters in the front row, it's only a 25% chance of Guy getting picked off. If, Guy is alone in the front row, he will die first turn. It's very bad. But now we have the Mithril Rock, so, the plot MacGuffin of so many Final Fantasy games is now in our grasp.
Yeah, we kind of did mention, like, story-wise, we're supposed to get Mithril so that they can make Mithril weapons. Which obviously, if you give them 1 ore of Mithril, they finally, yeah. Which is why we had to go there.
Yeah, I mean, we are fighting a war against an evil empire here. I mean...
Yeah. And the disobedient kids are obviously the best choice to do so. Alright, so now we are gonna see soon, like, the first indicator of what we meant by abusing the back row. As you can see, even the menu is dead, so it doesn't mean that we can't just put the other 3 into the back row, because the check that 1 living character has to be in the front row only happens after the first turn in a fight.
It does mean that on an ambush that Nikki will need to go into the menu and reset everybody to the back row, but otherwise, if she does not get ambushed, she'll just run, and it'll be fine, and then it saves damage from ambushes, so it stops you from randomly getting killed, basically, which would be bad for the run.
It not only stops that, it also means that we don't even get animations. Like, all the attacks that the enemies do, all the physicals, they just don't happen anymore.
So JimJack94 in chat is asking, how will the characters be strong enough to complete the game without fighting at all? I think we'll probably answer that question a little bit later, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that pretty soon. There's a few strats. But yeah, most bosses have a pretty common strat of how we're gonna handle them.
Needless to say, we're not going to do anything terribly legitimately at this. Also, we do have access to the airship, like, taxi service here. And, of course, importantly for all you fans of Final Fantasy out there, of course, myself included, the person who runs the taxi service is a old engineer named Sid.
Surprise, surprise. Never seen a Sid in a Final Fantasy before. Alright, so now that we have gotten the Mithril, obviously, we are now really trustworthy, and now we are gonna send to stop the evil empire from building the big warship. So if you were to try to go here beforehand, without triggering giving the Mithril over, there would be the Dark Knight, which we'll see very soon, in the middle, and the soldier blocking the way would just be too frightened to let us through.
Because we're clearly not powerful enough.
Yeah. And basically he is scared. But now that we've advanced the story, there's Borgen instead, and Borgen is kind of like the Kefka, just that he isn't even strong, and people just laugh about him.
He has a great laugh though. Like, it's not Kefka tier, but it's pretty solid.
I mean, it's probably like the pre-form of Kefka, and Kefka is the final form.
I mean, look at him. That's a full-on belly laugh. But we found, there it is, the mighty airship Dreadnought.
Yeah. Also, if you've seen The Dark Knight, so we have some icons for the characters. If you've seen it, then you can already see maybe who it is, who the Dark Knight actually is. In the PSX, I think the Famicom version doesn't have those, and in the PSX version you actually can't see it. Just for comparison. But yeah, we failed, but for some reason we get a pass here. Random. Here, look. We have a piece of paper that says that we can pretend to be evil soldiers now.
Like, we don't even need to get a full suit of armor or anything, it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah,
like,
just a piece of paper.
So now that we have our evil soldiering license, we can sneak past evil soldiers.
So yeah, and now it's time to head back, because we failed. Airship got completed anyway. Time to hear what great ideas they have now for us.
I mean, have we considered surrendering?
No, surrendering is never an option.
Oh, right, Final Fantasy. Right, surrendering is absolutely never an option.
Learning some more words. Airship and Sunfire. Airship here. Few steps, because extra steps are always good. Like, the step route is so lenient. If I had wasted steps earlier, like, say I did 6 steps here, if I had wasted 2 earlier because bad movements, then I could have just have done 4 here, and everything would have been fine again. That's how nice and lenient it is.
But we're gonna sail along a little bit more, back and forth, a couple more times here.
Yep, and now we are gonna say goodbye to our good friend that has helped us a lot. And without him, it would have been a lot more annoying. But yeah, Minu has to take care of the soon-to-die king.
Is everybody in this game about to die, basically?
Yeah, a lot of people, but only the main characters. But yeah, and now we can talk to him, use the Sunfire, and get a new keyword.
Which we'll need to access a dungeon later, correct?
Yeah. No, we just needed to unlock our next guest character. Okay, selling a bit of stuff. Great.
But you're keeping the fire tome.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna buy even more fire tomes.
I mean, late night reading material is really useful, right? That's how I fall asleep.
Yeah, so tomes can be used in 2 different ways in this game. One is you use it on a character. That character learns the spell at level 1, and it's basically like a weapon spell. It uses MP and everything, and you can slowly level it up. The second way is you use it as an item, and then it becomes a mid-level AoE spell.
Yep, the spells in this game level from 1 to, I believe, 16, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And so the whole idea is that, we could really slowly level up the things that we want, like fire and teleport. But that takes time, and spells at low levels are incredibly inaccurate and don't multi-target.
People have done that, tried that, it has not convinced me.
Right. Plan B, of course, is we're gonna throw books at our problems. We're gonna throw books at all of our problems.
Yeah, hopefully. So that's where like the early money came into consideration, because for the early parts, like we have now 8 fire tomes if I recall correctly. And those kind of have to do for the next 3 dungeons, which probably they won't. So I will take a small detour later on. But we'll see when we'll get there.
And we're not quite in the save scumming range just yet, but we'll get there in a little bit too.
But yeah, first step, so we need the Sunfire, for which we need the Eagle's Torch, which is in the snow cave. Yeah. For which we had to get Joseph now, who has a great snowcraft. Which for some reason, he doesn't keep it at home. Because, why? So we have to take a small detour to actually get it.
And it's hidden in a box, but it will fit the entire party.
Yeah, of course.
And taking a couple of extra steps in the room with no encounters there to push the encounter table so we don't get an encounter on the way out.
Correct. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter too much. Like, if you don't get an ambush, it's like probably 3 seconds or so an encounter. Not more than 5. But 6 steps is even shorter. Later on, though, it will become very relevant.
Yeah, we start dealing with unrunnable enemies, and then eventually we start dealing with enemies that we're just going to reset out of because the encounters are... we have no way of dealing with them, and they're unrunnable.
But before that, time for some magic.
So, we had the 15 puzzle in FF1, but now we're going to match some pictures here. And you might ask yourself, why are we doing this? Like, is this just a requirement to run old FF1 games, is to play video game puzzles? And what Nikki is doing right now is she is taking a moment to pause and probably take a picture of this somehow. I know for RPG Limit Break, Foresight broke out with the smartphone. If you're running this on, hardware, that's probably the best option. And now she's going to cycle through, 31 times here? And then she's going to start the puzzle again. So we're just throwing all of these away. Nothing to see here. She doesn't want any of these. And now she opens up this one, and it's perfect. Right, she knows where every single piece is. She opens them all up in the right order, and she gets 60,000 gil. It's 20,000 for doing it perfectly, and 40,000 for beating your best time. Because the random number generator is seated in such a way that there's only 32 instances of the puzzle. She's just gonna just do 2 of them very quickly, and now we are... well, we're not wealthy beyond the dreams of avarice, but we've got a ton of money now all of a sudden.
We are almost wealthy beyond... I'm kind of against, like, using programs and stuff. I have a piece of paper and a pen, and I write it down. More or less, but yeah. For some reason, the game only creates 32 puzzles, and after that, we start anew from the beginning. So that way, the first and the 33rd are exactly the same.
All right, and now we've reached Snow Cavern. This is the first dungeon in the game where we might not be able to run from encounters.
Yeah, for some reason, the developers were like, "Hey, this is too easy. We can't just let you get through it, running away from everything." So you're just gonna get some encounters. It's always the pack that matters. It's not like one enemy and you are like, "Hey, I'll just kill the enemy that's unrunnable, then I can run from the rest," right? No, that's not how it works. I believe they have a series about this, yeah.
Yeah, this particular encounter... Yeah, go
Yeah, this encounter is actually unrunnable in the upper floor, but runnable in these ones, which I have not known for the longest time. But yeah, fellow runner Quas found out about that.
Yeah, there's an entire chart with the unrunnable encounters, and of course, that one in particular specifies might not be runnable, but it might be runnable. So you try, and if you can't run from it, then you hit it with a fire tome.
What I said, and then this happens. I'm still confused about this encounter. But Joseph can't really afford to take more damage. Especially since I sold the high potion to get one more fire tome.
I mean, at the rate that you're going through your fire tomes, I think you're going to be very happy to have the fire tome and not the potion, though.
At the rate this is gonna go, I will work early.
Are we getting close to save and reset time here if you start running real thin on tomes?
No, we're just gonna I will explain after the cave.
Okay.
But yeah, as you've seen, I've also bought Blizzard tomes. I'm picking up the fifth one here. Which for some reason, even so, we are like, okay, this was like 20 steps. It does not give us an additional encounter, surprisingly.
And of course, you haven't used a single Blizzard tome yet either.
No, the Blizzard tomes are for another enemy. So yeah, here we're coming up to a very great room. Who doesn't know it? If you talk to the beaver upstairs, and you get an awesome cutscene. In which basically we find out that Guy speaks beaver. Basically meaning that Guy can communicate with the beavers.
Being able to talk to animals is very important.
Yeah. Apparently it was such a great idea that they took it over for FF6.
Alright. We're almost done with this dungeon.
Yeah, we are gonna head to the next boss. And this is, as been rotting wise, probably like one of the more interesting ones. Simply because there are basically 3 different strats you can use. So when I started running this game, people grinded the fist weapon to level 7 in order to beat him. Kinda worked, but as you can see, imagine it was kinda slow also. You could also try and get the teleport tome and try to teleport it away. Or, because this one is weak to ice, oh wow, we even did it in 4. This is really rare.
Nice.
You can use Blizzard tomes.
And of
Usually
course,
we need 5, but
anything that saves grinding is good, right?
everything that saves grinding is good, even if it means we have 4 less fire tomes. But yeah, it's still just totally worth it.
I mean,
Right.
in a little bit you'll get more fire tomes anyhow, but we've got the goddess's bell now.
Yep. So we got the bell, which allows us to get into Cashin Castle, where the Sunfire is, which we are supposed to get to destroy the Dreadnought. The bad ship. Alright, and here we do not call Borgin a boss.
Punching bag?
Yeah, I mean, he dies with 1 attack 90% of the time. He's just there, pretending to be useful. But for some reason, he has the ability to be really annoying. So get your Bible sums ready.
Aww.
Cause it's time for the next death. So yeah, huge boulder.
But Joseph is
in.
incredibly strong.
Well, I mean, Joseph is kinda a monk. Like, we did not really use his abilities and they were not really that strong, but like, fist fighting was his 40s, so...
But he's given his life to the cause, everybody. That is our second major death of the run at this point. And of course, yes, Joseph is very dead. Joseph got run over by that giant boulder. He stopped it long enough to get everybody else out of the way. But he absolutely took one for the team there.
He did great. Alright, and with it we are out of the snow. And finally gonna use a lot of the money we've just gotten.
It's time to spend a lot of money.
Notes. Alright, so we are gonna sell, yeah, so Blizzard. Oh, right, so Blizzard Town. Why the hell? Yeah, but betting on getting it done with 4 is just not a thing.
So you just bought 91 teleport tomes. There's no way you use all 91 of those in this run, right?
No. I'm actually gonna use even more, obviously.
Also getting a stash of consumables, so Phoenix Down's gonna grab some high potions, because, you know, healing magic takes time to level up too, and again, no time for that. But a lot of the things that you've seen from other Final Fantasy games, of course, Phoenix Downs to res the dead, high potions will let us heal, gold needles will let us heal petrification on the very off chance that it happens in this run.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, you can also get frogged and you get matrices for that, but in that case, those are enemies you might as well just reset. Okay.
And like you said, you just opened up Kashuan, so I guess we're gonna fly there next?
Nope. So since usually if we were to go really fast, we would hope that our fire tomes are enough. But we only have 2 fire tomes left, so in order for our own sanity, we are gonna go back and buy some. Which, in this case, is just gonna be ultimately faster. And while we're at it, we're also gonna buy Mistral Shields, cause better shields just ensure better running. Should be careful about my money.
Yep, running away, of course, becomes more important. Having more agility means more running, and more successful running means, well, less time trying to run.
I was supposed to be a bit more careful, yeah. I hope items are gonna be enough. If not, I'll have to restock on them at some point.
Hopefully you'll be able to hold out alright.
Yeah, I was only supposed to buy 81 teleport tomes and save a strat. Or in the strat, But yeah. We are not gonna make the next 2 dungeons with just 2 fire tomes.
Not even close.
I mean, everything can happen, but this is a marathon. So yeah, usually the goddess spell would also be in the top position, because we first put the Blizzard Tomes there, and then we use all of them.
But you didn't even get to use all of them. You had one left over.
That's the problem. That's exactly the problem. But yeah, you do not bet on doing that with 4 Blizzard Tomes, because for that, to be consistent, you would need, like, I think 3 attacks with Maria. Or 3 usages, because Maria has an higher intelligence stat, so... What's this way? But yeah, we are now to Cashuan. Meeting Gordon. Ouch. Again. I have not seen this encounter in a really long time.
The single random sergeant.
A single random and a randomable sergeant. Yeah. Where you can see what we are gonna do with teleportomes. Rolling dice in order to hopefully get them away.
Yep, there's a chance that they will get instantly killed and just go away.
Oh, they're not killed, they're just beamed somewhere else.
Oh, right, I forgot. Teleport doesn't actually kill them, it's just, we're going to fill up the 4th dimension very quickly.
Yeah, in theory there's a spell, I don't know how it's called in English, that does kill, but its success rate is not better and it's way later accessible only way later. Also, this would have been my 2 fire tomes.
Yeah, you wouldn't have, that would have been a bad idea to mess with that, because the undead packs are just unrunnable, and so you just need to torch them, because they're also... Are they unteleportable?
So the zombies, like the ghouls, are teleportable, but the shadows, like the most big soldiery guys, are not.
Wait, Adamantoise is here too?
Yeah, Adamantoise is here too. But as you can see, teleportomes are not that bad against them. This is the worst Cashion I've ever seen.
Would you like a runnable encounter?
Apparently not.
So-
Look.
Oh wow, you can run from this.
Yeah.
Of course, the big thing is, as you can see in this particular dungeon, is that there is that big, great Final Fantasy theme of early game bosses showing up later in the game in later dungeons. This will matter later.
I mean, I always say it makes sense, kinda. Like, if you have a horde of monsters, then you choose your strong monsters and are like, here, go and conquer the enemy. On the bright side, like right now, we quickly kill things, because the magic defense isn't high, so teleport tomes are kinda successful. And fire tomes are consistent anyways.
Yep.
Oh. Encounters that I have not seen in a long time.
Yeah, this has been a really, really garbage Cashuan so far.
We have bought fire tomes. There's no reason to use teleport tomes.
Alright, so laid waste to those.
Oh. Good point. Nope, you...
Alright, gonna raise the dead, patch up the party, save the game here. And now it is time to punch Red Soul.
Yeah, like you would think, hey, Obviously, we now have teleport tomes. We can teleport almost everything. Red souls are a big no. Red souls are just the bane of FF2 runs, basically. Because they use spells. Well, I think this one only for 4 turns, and it runs out of 15. 4 or 5.
Yeah, but Scourge is incredibly bad.
It absorbs all magic, and it can't be teleported, so...
So you know how we said that there are enemies that we're going to see later on that are bosses initially? This is the first one that's really terrible.
Yeah. And this guy will show up with friends.
And we will never fight them. Ever.
Alright, but with that we are finally done with Cashuan.
And there is our Eagle's Torch.
There's our torch, which is the thing that allows us to get the Sunfire, which is also here. Which, for some reason, it's not like the torch gets equipped with a fire status or something. No, the Sunfire is just its own item.
So now we have the fire in the torch, so now we get to go use it.
Yep, now we just want to go to the Dreadnought and kill it. And surprise, surprise, here we see how the Dreadnought is chasing Sid's ship.
Also, look at that great Dreadnought model, by the way. But of course, the actual scale of the Dreadnought is not really demonstrated in that. It's demonstrated here. I don't know how...
If you've ever wondered how airship fighting goes...
This scene is great.
This is how it works. Just go build a grappler and... yeah. But yeah, on the bright side for us, we see where it gets down, and now we just have to chase it.
I don't even know how the Dreadnought goes so darn fast there, because Sid's ship is tiny and agile, and the Dreadnought is...
Yeah, and now we get to the best part, basically. In casual, I always went back here, I didn't know where to go. Because this guy first came out in FF2 and made it through all the FFs later. Let's welcome our good friend Chocobo.
Yay!
Oh my gosh.
So again, like talking about it before, Nikki was just checking her step counter. She needs to know how many steps she can ditch here to get the proper rate of encounters in the Dreadnought itself.
And all the things that come after the Dreadnought.
And now we finally get to use our Evil Soldier license and get into the Dreadnought.
Yep.
But now we're gonna start running around in the Dreadnought because we're obviously evil and nobody's gonna try and stop us. We're not even in uniform.
Nope. Who needs a uniform? So now we come up to one of the best scenes. What is going on? I love that. So if we are now gonna save people, and if we were to talk to Hilda here, she is gonna... What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Literally all she's gonna say. So we have to talk to Sid so that he is actually Hilda. They're here to rescue us. We can go now. Also, this is why I was supposed to menu. So you were earlier able to see me picking up Thieves' Gloves. Thieves' Gloves are special in the way that they give the character +5 agility.
Agility helps us run away, right?
Nope. Not really. I mean, if our encounter is runnable, then we run away anyway. But in fact, the preemptive and ambush rate of encounters is scaled with Firion's agility. So basically, for all three agility-enhancing equipments that we are going to pick up, each piece gives us roughly a 3% increase of not getting an ambush. So basically, with all three, we have 10% less ambushes.
That's like 10% better.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like much, but at the same time, it doesn't take long to get them. So we're just gonna gladly pick them up.
Also, in terms of one of the cooler graphical bugs in the game, as you are running by the soldiers there in the other screen, since one of your characters is poisoned, they're also all blinking like they're poisoned as well.
Yep. Also, poison doesn't reduce to less than 1 HP.
Getting punched in the face, however, that will reduce you past 1 HP for sure.
Yeah. That does a trick. So yeah, now that we have rescued Sid and Hilda, kinda. I'm not sure where they actually went. We are gonna head deep into the airship to finally throw the fire in.
Mines are probably the worst encounter in here because you absolutely have to use 2 flyer tomes on them.
Actually, not necessarily. It is a damage roll if Maria gets the first one off, which is why you are supposed to do Maria and Guy, but that's kind of a new strat. Usually, like with the old gotta go fast strat, you would always try to use teleport tomes, because the amount of fire tomes you have is limited.
That's fair. There's a lot of, like, Maria actually has a better magic stat than everybody else, and since we're not actually casting spells, that never really changes throughout the run.
Yeah, so basically, roughly, Firion and Guy deal around 150, and Maria deals 200. It's often like the amount of damage you'll see.
I mean, that check is based on this level of the spell, their magic stat, and a little bit of randomness as well, plus if the enemy is strong or weak to the element. So a few factors go into it, certainly.
Let's just save again. Usually in the lower floors, like unrunnables are not that, but there are magicians that can ambush you, and spellcaster ambushes are not a good thing, surprisingly. The damage is not really that bad, but they can cast AoE sleep, and then it gets sketchy. Okay, putting my people back into back row.
And now we're going to throw the torch into the engine, everybody. That's right. It's time for sabotage.
Yeah, then the Dark Knight looks at us evilly. It's like, how dare you? But we kinda don't care.
He's on the wrong side of the engine to do anything to us anyway. Look at him, he's all the way over there.
Yeah, what a weakling, can't even jump.
I mean, he's not a dragoon. And now it is time for our epic escape. Thankfully, there's no escape scene. We actually just get to see this cutscene where we are running out of the Dreadnought as it basically starts melting down. And of course, we have no respect for the Dreadnought, so we're very happy to see it go.
And some more explosion. And now we are finally gonna travel back to Altair.
So, we've destroyed the Dreadnought and saved the world. Game's over. It's been a real pleasure. Wait, no, there's a lot more game to go.
No. We've only destroyed the airship. We've not destroyed the Empire yet. But first things first, more people have to die.
Oh no.
Yep. And this time it's our good friend, the king.
Oh no, not the king.
Yeah, Minu has to go on to do other things. So in order to not be occupied with the king anymore, he had to go. Take it as you want.
Aww.
I think plot armor just worked against him.
And of course, Minwoo does mention that one of the goals of this particular stretch of the game is going to be to unseal the Ultima Tome. So you know all those books that we've been using to not learn spells, but instead use them on enemies? One of them is actually a plot device, the Ultima Tome, which lets, you know, the spell Ultima, it's a thing in Final Fantasy II.
Yeah.
But yeah, rest in peace, King. It was a pleasure knowing you for the 11 seconds that you were directly in the video game with us.
Hey, we couldn't have beaten the game without him. Okay, learning some new keywords. Because, yeah, I have not forgotten them yet, but they have been people.
Yep, FF2, of course, the first mention of Dragoons, and of course the first mention of, for anybody who's a Final Fantasy IV for Enterprise fan, the Wyvern. I mean, it's an enemy in FF1, but this is the first time that it's actually a little bit more than that.
So yeah, we have been told we want to go to DICE now. To meet the Dragoon, the Wyvern, to help us. Sadly, we don't have a ship. What are we gonna do in best FF5?
I mean, if this were FF1, I know what I'd do. I'd beat up some pirates. But this is FF2, not FF1, so there's no way that we're going to need to beat up some pirates, right?
How could we ever beat up some pirates? I mean, time to beat up some pirates. No, we're not gonna beat them up. We're gonna burn them, because that's what we do on ships.
Hey, Maria got to go first. Maria got...
Oh, gosh. Odds I ripped my step route. No, I did. I'm probably able to come back, I'm just not sure how.
Oh no.
Yeah, that encounter after... So, the strength is that... like, Gordon went out of the party and I had 3 characters in back row. The check then happens whenever you open a menu or anywhere else. Like, I couldn't even open the menu, then they would all have gotten to the front row. Was that encounter, it also kind of happened, so...
That kind of messed things up a little bit.
Yeah. Should look for my intelligence sheet or just go for it until I am at an encounter I know where it is. Just not gonna happen soon.
Yep. And of course, every ocean encounter is runnable, thankfully, so we will never fight anything on the high seas, which will be great.
Yeah, at the moment we are gonna get to the last dungeon, which is really nice and letting us run from literally everything. Just a tropical island, which is not really set when we have to go there. We are probably a bit early. I should just be 2 steps off.
And of course, you did take the gold hairpin from your pirate friend and strap that onto Furion's helmet slot. So.
Yeah, the gold hairpin also increases agility by 5. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure it protects against petrification, which can be, in very rare cases, important.
Alright, and of course now, she just gets clobbered in that fight, and so now your pirate friend is dead.
And now every ambush is a bit faster.
Yep.
Which is pretty uncommon. Usually the enemies here like to not hit Layla, and you have to hope that she actually gets poisoned and then slowly dies.
No, she obliged. She just took the first 2 attacks immediately on that fight. It was great.
Yep.
But yeah, nothing terribly exciting on Tropical Island, honestly. I think we're going to avoid literally every chest and run from literally every encounter.
Okay. I know what I did wrong. I actually did not read the notes properly. That sucks. So I'm 1 step off. If you can imagine, like usually you go back and forth, so that's 2 steps. Trying to get 1 step back is... yeah. It does not work that easily.
Yeah, there would need to be a door that you could use to get 1 step back, right?
Doors can potentially work if they like give you a step of leeway.
But you'd have to know which door is which, and that's not always
Also,
easy.
we do not have door that close by. Another possibility is just coming up soon, relatively. But yeah, here we just get the black mask. Very surprisingly, there's also white mask, which we'll have to get later on.
Alright, and so now we're going to go to the teleporter in the back, because most dungeons in this game, thankfully, have a convenient teleporter that take you back to the outside.
Yeah, they did not expect you to have a teleport home, which also means that you can't teleport out of here with the teleport home, sadly. But for the casual experience, it's definitely better this way.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm not sure how this is gonna go now. Okay. So this is a great lake, and we are gonna put encounters into this lake whenever we can.
As we are going to arrive at Daced Cave, correct?
Yep. Which is the first place with a lot of unrunnable encounters, and encounters that will even force us to reset. Cause yeah, if we can't teleport them away or fire them away, we are not gonna bother with it, which is why you'll also see me saving a lot. Basically every encounter.
Yeah, one of the terms that gets used for this is tiptoe saving. You'll see this a lot in FF1 GBA runs as well, just because there are encounters that are both unrunnable and basically unrunnable and unfightable, and so the first thing that we're hoping to not see are yellow souls.
Yeah, so first thing we have to get the pendant here. Cause I'm not even sure, but otherwise you can't advance in the castle the way we want to. I'm not sure if if the wyvern doesn't talk to us, or if the kid doesn't let us through.
Yep, and now we are back to the castle.
Yeah. find an old wyvern who is like, hey, I have an egg. Please help me. Put it somewhere else where it can breed, cause I can't anymore.
The very last wyvern egg.
Okay, I needed to do that more, so it's this one. And now we are good. So yeah, and obviously we haven't really been into Dice Cave yet, so now it's time to head into the depth of this place.
Yeah, so instead we're going to go around in the other direction, and we are going to hope to get good encounters. This is bad.
Yeah, I should probably heal Maria. Simply because at this point, AoE spells don't automatically kill her yet. On the other hand, Teleport always reduces your HP by a lot. Like, almost single digit. I remember that menu was at 12 afterwards, but basically to like 10%.
And of course, we have to bring Maria back because we want to have that extra chance to throw teleport tomes before the enemies start killing our party members. And there's our first encounter with Yellow Souls, and you'll see that we are about to see the title screen.
So yeah, saving and resetting is just a lot faster. And also these guys, yeah, you can't do anything to them. And they always cast AoE Fire, I believe, even.
Yeah, I think it's Fire 5 or Fire 6, but
yeah.
it's a lot of damage. Later Souls cast even higher level fire magic, which is really a nuisance, and so we're going to be seeing that title screen a lot.
So yeah, and I'll try to just change the RNG one way or another. Doing extra steps if I can afford it, changing items and healing my character also work. Like, I have been told someone has looked like at this data, at least in the PSP version, and say every encounter, like, resetting should change the RNG already, but I'm even less convinced that the PSP version does it than that the GBA version does it. Yay, more Helgi guesses. So these guys already have quite a high magic defense, but also RNG-wise they're pretty close to the Yellow Souls. So you don't really want to change from one to the other.
Yeah, at least Hillgigases are teleportable, so, you know, while you'll waste some time teleporting them, it's better than having to do a full reset. There's an extra menu tap that goes into this over FF1 as well, because you have to remember to switch from FF1 to FF2, so I think this is about 8 or 9 seconds to reload on GBA.
Sounds about right.
I've definitely timed it on FF1, it's about 7 seconds on FF1. Most FF1 runners in GBA have definitely reset their game an awful lot, so... Also, I forget this, but does Maria's slightly higher intelligence give her a slightly higher chance to teleport enemies?
So teleport in itself is a white magic, so it would base off of the spirit stat. But for some reason we have tried, like, with spirit enhancing equipment and such. For some reason it does not affect the success rate of the tomes.
So it just sort of happens, is what you're saying, is that there's just a fixed rate of teleport chance, and that's you just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Game, please. Game.
Let's heal this time. Maybe that will change stuff. I could also do bonus steps. I have like 8 to waste, but that would be too mainstream.
Manipulating your step count, like that makes you sound like, you know, like a speedrunner. Another save.
Yeah, always. And we are finally on floor 5, where there are almost only good encounters. Still saving. Chimeras have a really brutal AoE attack, so if they get an ambush off, things are off.
Or if you don't teleport enough of them on first try.
Yeah, this spot actually, usually the amount is fixed, but here you can get between 1 and 4 chimeras.
That was a good double teleport there for Varian, at least. That was good.
Oh, and there the blaze is showing up. I'm not even sure who survives that. Well,
I mean, certainly not Maria.
certainly not Maria, no. Well, the other two get max HP level up, so I guess that's something. So yeah, putting the Wyvern egg now in here.
And it just sinks to the bottom. Gone forever. We'll never see it again.
And now forcing an encounter here because almost all encounters here are nice.
So you're gonna throw one encounter away here, which is super useful, and then you're gonna teleport out.
Yeah, we have to get one encounter, but we can choose to get it there, and we have like a 90% chance to run away. And the others, Gigantoads, which are also not too bad. We still have to teleport them, but yeah. The odds are just strongly in our favor if we force it there.
You know, for anybody who wants to learn to speedrun RPGs, kind of understanding the best ways to take encounters and when you have fixed encounter tables is super useful. Just for going fast, because, you know, knowing that that's a better encounter than what you're going to get literally anywhere else is usually really useful. But now it's time to sail all the way back around, all the way back to the Rebel base. So we've got a bit of a trip.
Yeah, some sailing has to be done.
Again, sailing again is still fairly friendly, though. Everything's runnable, and nothing is super dangerous on the oceans, so...
And now we're gonna meet up with Hilda again, who's hiding in her room.
That's not odd in any way. Also, you saved your game before you talked to her. Why was that?
Runs have actually, no, just one. Basically the best run I ever had at the pace, probably. As side here. Yeah. So we kinda needed a baseline for introducing the upcoming boss. And yeah, how do you introduce a Lamia Queen boss?
Oh no, that's not Hilda, that's the Lamia Queen. Which we will certainly never see again in this run, thankfully.
Certainly never. And yeah, the Lamia Queen has a really high magic defense, so we can get it first try, but it can also take 7 or 10 attempts. Which, considering that the teleport tome costs 1000 gil and takes 7 seconds to cast.
Third try is pretty good, though.
Third try is around the baseline of average. Like, I do not complain about third try Lamia Queen at all. So yeah, switching from Layla to Gordon because for some reason Gordon thinks that he has to rescue Hilda. Like, let's be honest, Gordon is just...
Gordon's an
Gordon is a
idiot.
crybaby.
I don't think anybody who plays FF2 respects Gordon in the slightest.
I mean, yeah, his kingdom got destroyed. Sad, sad. Like, we didn't mention it, but he was the Prince of Kashuan where we were earlier, but... yeah.
The game very briefly mentions that that's how he gets through the Goddess Bell door, is because he's the prince and he can do that.
And he couldn't have taken us with him.
Gordon's an idiot.
So yeah, we kind of ran past here earlier. With a chocobo. This time we go by foot, and you can already see this area is kind of dangerous. Like, these guys hurt a lot. And I always feel like the ambush rate is also higher here, but that's just... personal feeling. But yeah, now we make our way to the arena, being, hey Emperor. Emperor's like, hey, you stepped into the middle of a coliseum, I want to fight.
So now we have to entertain the Emperor. This isn't cool at all.
This is how the script goes. Well, not ours probably, but... and it's time for the big fat behemoth, which, I mean, surprise, surprise. We'll just send him outside to play with someone else.
That behemoth ended up on a chest on the moon in Final Fantasy IV. Wait, the Emperor wasn't actually there? It was all a trap the entire time?
Yeah, totally surprising, isn't it? And now we are in the prison. Obligationary RPG prison break. Coming up, we're talking basically to the gate, and suddenly Paul is there. Did I mention Paul, the random guy? Yeah, he is. Knocking out the one and letting us out. Obviously all our equipment is still with us, so that's not a problem either.
But he trashes that guard so that you can escape. So now it is time for, you know, breaking out of prison. As Nikki said, the obligatory break out of prison, because this is a RPG.
Also going through cells, okay. So I could show you guys what's happening, but basically these guys, these specters, have AoE sleep and AoE break. AoE break usually just results in a game over. Could we not?
I mean, AoE sleep also basically ends up in a game over, because then your party gets pummeled the second turn.
Yeah, I mean, we can hope to wake up, but yeah. Let's try to change something. Also, I like how we can just go through invisible walls inside the prison. Through prison cells.
Single Deathflower is probably one of the better encounters to see down here.
There are actually a lot of runnable encounters. But yeah, that turned out not too bad. Like the Death Flower, not the other, to be fine.
No, the other two beforehand were terrible.
So yeah, now we are gonna rescue Hilda.
Yay! Gordon saved the princess. We didn't do
Change
anything.
Change formations, cause I want to save. Talking about bad encounters. We are just gonna try and teleport them away still. Alright, then now we can just run out. For some reason there's also no one here anymore. No one cares about us.
I mean, now that they know that there's no princess to guard, everybody just took the rest of the day off.
Like, that was probably the only way the princess and Gordon were able to make it without us. And red guy.
So right now, Guy is our ghost that's going to give us some protection from ambushes here.
Yeah, you would think Maria, which I could have made, but the thing is that you choose that after rescuing Hilda, and so you get still one encounter in the Colosseum. And if you get specters, you need 2 fire tomes, of which one is from Maria. So if you have sacrificed her before, that doesn't work out good well.
And of course, burning off steps on the ocean is really good because, again, all ocean encounters are generally favorable and generally runnable.
Yeah, also, like, in the 256 steps, there are a total of 2 ocean encounters. While in comparison, there are 12 world map encounters, 10 cave encounters, and there are 2 really, really dumb floors, which have, I believe, 26 encounters or something. Like, a really high encounter rate. Which is why step route is really, really, really important up to that point.
Yep.
You will beat Stalagmite. This is the moment where you are... This is not on the list, so we are gonna trust the list, and the list really only is like what happened in runs.
Well, that's a very bad state of affairs here. Well, 2 people woke up at least.
Also, what you can see here is that Guy and Maria went to Pronto while Firion didn't. So the reason Firion didn't is because he is asleep. At the same time, this is just a graphical glitch. He actually is in front row. You'll also be able to be hit.
But again, Layla doing the most important job of being dead in the front row.
Yep. So yeah, preemptives don't really matter. Like, for enemies that don't cast spells, after one turn we get to the front row, one way or another.
But
yeah, at least first try got us.
First home Gatos is always good. I mean, any first time new to home is good.
Yeah, that's also like the weirdest enemy. We will see him like 4 times. 2 times he is runnable and 2 times he isn't. Yeah, learning some new keywords. And then finding a hidden door. Because apparently one of the 2 masks, we had the black mask earlier, and now we get officially introduced to them, and one of the is down here. And like a good castle basement, there are also a lot of monsters down here.
Yep, this floor is going to make us sling a lot of tomes, and then
Not that many, cause step route, we only get one encounter, and the first floor usually has only undeads. Few fire tomes make that. Second to fourth floor has runabouts, and the fifth floor we have to teleport. With one exception that I hope that we'll just not see it.
let's not talk about the one exception, because if we don't talk about it, it won't happen.
That's how it works, right?
Absolutely.
Alright.
But in case of that one exception coming up, taking a safety save here just to make sure.
Yeah, also up there, you might remember in older version, there's a chest with a blood sword. In GBA, it's not there.
Aw. If Bloodsword existed, it would absolutely change the speedrun immensely, wouldn't it?
Probably not. So yeah, we get stalagmites 99% of the time. We could also get the same encounter one floor earlier. That's runnable. That's how great this game is. But yeah. So there's also the off chance for who would have guessed more souls. Green souls in that case, which are healing souls. They just cast heal over and over. I've actually killed them once in a marathon because I didn't save. It's super annoying. Alright. This was... I did not get an No, I got one ambush, but yeah. First try teleport him on those stalagmites. That's really strong.
Yeah, that was
And
super clean.
And here we see why step route is great. Instead of the stalagmites that we have to teleport, we now get a single goblin side.
Which we're gonna run from.
Which we remember these guys from very early in the speedrun.
They got punched an awful lot.
Not even. We had wished to encounter more of them because of 3 early game enemies. They just give the most skill, but usually they are hiding pretty well. Okay.
So it's time to head on to the best town in the game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's time to head on to Mysidia. The Mage Town. We could have actually gotten here earlier, but for the story it wouldn't have helped. Just casually if you want to get more spells. Which also means that we are gonna restock on teleport homes, because we do not have enough teleport homes yet. Do I have anything to sell? Well, not really.
But full stack of teleport tomes again because they're gonna get used.
Well, as much as we can afford.
Well, we're hoping that we never run out.
Oh, yeah, I saw stuff. That's why. Yeah, I mean, we should be fine. Ever since Step Route, fortunately, was less encounters, so need less teleport homes, so... In general, I have rarely run out of teleport tomes.
It takes an awful lot of effort to run out of teleport tomes in this run, honestly.
It just requires a hell lot. I mean, it also depends on playstyle, of course. Like, you can also sometimes you just reset because you're like, well, this was a random encounter and I've already wasted 7 now, even if the 8's hit, I don't care anymore. But yeah, in general, you just need bad luck for that. So yeah, we are supposed to go now to Mysidia Tower, for which we need a crystal staff, which is here in the cave. For which we needed the 2 masks. But first, our last agility enhancing item. The Black Cup. As I said, they're just so close by. No reason to not get them.
Yep, every little bit of extra safety is good.
So yeah, the white mask earlier turns this in an actual doppelganger, which we can now put on the black mask to disappear. First 2 floors, not too special. A small chance for red souls, everything else. Well, I mean, they're undeads, I believe. But basically just stuff to run away from. And now 3 floors, which are a bit more annoying.
But yeah, low chance of souls is kind of the FF2 experience.
Well, if you expect it and save every once in a while, it's still fine. Also, this is in casuals the spell always misses. In speedruns it actually hits, but the swap spell just heals us. That's how underleveled we are.
Yep, an oddball spell that you don't see in an awful lot of Final Fantasy games. It just switches your HP total with the enemy's HP total, or in this case, because we're basically super low on health all the time, it's just going to patch us up.
Just heal us to full. I'm getting a hell lot of ambushes, but as long as it's... honestly, don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take like 2 seconds to remenu, and then if you're remenuing, you're going to save anyway, which is always good technique, and then you get the encounter that you don't want to see.
And that's still fine. I mean, we can't really use the money they give anymore. Knowing that it's only 2 fire tomes doesn't feel as bad as having to throw an unknown amount of teleport tomes, or even resetting at 1.
That's fair. That makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Like this one. This one is just a no-go.
I saw yellow and red soul there. That's not good. That's bad.
Yeah. Alright, Rios. An enemy that you might also know from FF looks quite a bit different, but... okay, we'll try. Flying Rays are one of the very few enemies that actually might outspeed us once we're in the front row.
But look at that. 3 clean teleport tomes. No big deal there.
Yeah. And this weird encounter is runnable, but you see it so rarely and it looks so weird. I don't know, I always stop for a moment there with those wild horns. Alright, entry through. Very clean with the arcade. That's what I kinda didn't mention is there are shortcuts in the City Arcade. Like, you might know them from some speedruns, but they are only available in the Famicom and the WonderSwan version. They actually got patched out in the GBA version. Probably in the PSX version first.
Neat.
So yeah, again, forcing an encounter in the cave, cause that one most likely won't roll.
Yeah, I mean, things are pretty safe out in this part of the world, basically, right? This isn't, like, the worst area to be in.
No, but that means the outside still has some encounters. Which you have to teleport, like the big horn or mines. Oh yeah, also I kinda forgot the cue. Remember the FF4 references? Yeah, now it's time for the very, very random part in the FF4 story, which also appears in FF2 the first time. AKA, Leviathan destroys our ship. And this time even eats us. Like, if you already didn't know why he did that in FF4, well, you'll know it even less in FF2.
Where are we? Firion asks. That's right. Leela's gone, and we're inside of a sea serpent. This is our first time seeing floor damage tiles.
Yep. Those do not advance the step route in any shape or form. You don't get encounter, but you also don't advance it. You just take 1 point of damage for each step within.
And we're gonna stop and, even though it's right on the way, thankfully, but we are going to stop and snag that twist headband because we'll need it later.
Yeah, and support unit. Crystal staffs there. And we meet Rickard, the Dragoon. Remember Diced, where they were supposed to be Dragoons, but they all ran away? Basically. Yeah, that guy we meet here, eaten by Leviathan.
I just appreciate the fact that if you looked at the room to the right of that door you just went through, there's like a bed inside of Leviathan. Like, have they been here that long?
They have been here that long. Leviathan apparently does not like to actually consume its food, it just likes to eat it. Alright, finding obligatory small boss that gets teleported away. And finding a new ship, because our ship just broke.
That enemy gets teleported to the desert in Final Fantasy V.
Exactly.
But the crystal staff lets us break the seal on the Mysidia Tower, and now we're in.
Yep, thanks to step route skipping everything on the first floor, which might be annoying.
But we're gonna keep hiking around here. A lot of batting.
Just a no. Let's just not.
This is the first dungeon that is just basically full of nothing you want to see, basically, ever. Like, that encounter would be great if there weren't one red soul in it.
Actually, still unrunnable in this part, but yes.
Unrunnable, but at least it qualifies as being able to be fought off.
So yeah, remember what I told you about the 2 floors that have an incredibly high encounter rate? Fortunately, they also have like 2 holes in which you can maneuver through if you're on step route. Like this is the first of the 2. And this way we are able to get through without an encounter. Like for example, there's I think a follow-up of like 1, 1, 2, 5 steps in which you get encounters. Like
Nice.
that's how bad it can be if you go through that room without step route. So yeah, the tower also like follows like fire, ice, the topic of the elements, fire, ice, and thunder. With like then Ultima being like the spell above them all. So yeah, which means first we have to fight the fire gigas. Well, fight. Usually he would already be down.
Yeah, we got to see fire, was it 12 or 13 or something, go off there. I mean, you know, Guy only took, what, 3 times his maximum health and damage there?
Yeah.
But Fire Gigas gets sent off. I don't know where Fire Gigas ends up. I think it ends up in Zozo in Final Fantasy VI.
Who knows? But yeah, the even more notable floor, because it's way more annoying even this one, was a really high encounter rate. But yeah, gladly also, we only needed to like do 8 extra steps.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all.
In order to get through this room. Also walls, just saying, we had 2 very, very awesome holes in those walls, which allowed us to get through a lot faster than going the whole way around.
Now, only if you could land a teleport scroll on Ice Gigas, it'd be great.
I don't know what you're talking about. Stop dreaming.
Alright, floor 5 is awful. This is the other real awful floor in this dungeon.
Floor 5, yeah. I said not this encounter. Like, I could in theory fight it, but I would need first use 2 fire tomes for the undead, and then teleport home for the chimera. And then, yeah, probably take more than cost.
Yep, so...
chances for a single teleport home on a chimera is the highest.
But yeah.
So yeah, as mentioned earlier, this encounter was runnable. Up here, it's not. 3 fire tomes for troubles. I mentioned earlier that I might run out of fire tomes, but this is actually the last place with undeads even when I need them, so we are fine with those.
Nice. I mean, you did take the extra reload of fire tomes for marathon safety, which was useful, though.
I mean, yeah, but that was only for the early part. For the Dreadnought. Else I would have bought them after that. I usually buy a bit more than what I bought, but yeah. 23 is more than enough. And here's the final Gigas. They are really not cooperating today.
Just please, game, why do you do this? I mean, speedrunning this game is not absolutely just sitting around begging that your teleport tome stick, we swear.
No, I'm over that. I just accept that at some point you just don't PB, but it's a game allowing you to PB.
5. Oh, 5. Okay. Well, you got there.
Yeah. Alright, and now the final floor should only have undeads or runnables, so... Unless we get ambushed by dumb stuff.
That never happens.
No. And that's why I said, like, gold happen with protection from petrification can be useful. There can be more than one basilisk here.
So yeah, just let those fire tomes fly because they're not doing you any good anyway. And in your inventory. So Mr. Cab is asking if we sent all the Gigases to Secret of Mana.
That's fine too. Yeah, Secret of Mana.
All right,
I'm
everybody.
imagining poorly programmed AI characters running into Gigases.
All right, everybody. Now is the time. If you've played this game before, you know what's about to happen.
Menu, who didn't need the crystal staff to get here, channeling all his...
And when we say all of his energy, we really mean all of his energy.
Yeah, so actually there are that many characters dying here that in the GBA pod they included a post-game like additional add-on called Soul of Rebirth in which you play all the characters that died basically.
Well,
so yeah, up here we now get the ultimatum and you can see like they're actually for. What they do is they increase one of the 4 stats, like one each, of a character by 10. I'm not sure if it's a random character or just the one with the lowest like stat, but it just doesn't help.
I'm pretty sure it's completely random, but I'm not 100% sure either. But either way, not really worth the time, because the only ones you really desperately want would be Spirit, but I think you've proven out that you were talking about how Spirit really doesn't affect teleport tomes anyway. And agility on Firion is nice, but
it never ends up on Firion.
We're not going to sit here and save scum for the time it would take to get it there.
Okay, so now we have a big evil cyclone.
Wait, a big evil cyclone? What is this game?
Who is threatening us? And so we now need to create a way to get actually into that. And yeah, it's time to ask our magic mirror. Use the pendants that we have never ever used. And see... Oh, look, the wyvern egg. Remember the wyvern egg? It's actually hatching and we're able to call the wyvern. Very fortunately.
Wait, are we going to ride a dragon?
We get to ride a dragon.
Yay! And we don't even have to get poisoned to ride this dragon.
Nope, but we also can't control the dragon we are riding. It's basically just cutscene writing.
And of course, Ricard is Dragoon, so can talk to Wyvern and say, hey, look, I'm cool. And Wyvern goes, hey, look, you're cool. And now everything's cool.
Yep. Also, yeah, Finn is like the weirdest part with step routing because earlier you were able to get encounters here, it kind of doesn't advance it at all anymore. Except in the buildings in here, they still work. So yeah, and we talked to a good friend Paul. What's the cyclone name we just got? To get his best item, Elixir for Gil, and the Blood Sword.
If we forget the Blood Sword, the run's dead, so yay for grabbing the Blood Sword.
Well, if we forget the Blood Sword, then yeah. Power Tunic. Why am I saving? And now it's time to ride up the cyclone.
There's a castle in the cyclone, though.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the Emperor must have built his new castle somewhere, right?
I mean, I'm putting it in a
Since we
giant
destroyed his airship, he just got an improved airship.
I'm pretty sure he's really salty about the fact that you destroyed his airship.
Who knows? I mean, we don't even know if he was in there.
I don't think that makes him any less salty about it, though. He is the Emperor, after all.
Yeah.
Come on, Captain. We need to send you off to Final Fantasy IV also, please. Alright, but we're starting to run into these Royal Guards that we've seen before. The Black Knights from the opening of the game.
No, the Black Knights are actually different ones. But yeah, it's a recolor. We get some recolors here.
Yeah, there's definitely recolors. It's an early Final Fantasy game that's pretty standard. Somehow the Royal Guards get shipped off to Final Fantasy I, but they get separated from their horses, so they become nightmares and evil men.
Like, going through it, it's also surprising how much stuff of FF2 you see in other FFs.
I mean,
to be honest.
Yeah, everybody talks about FF1 being sort of, it's the first one, right? It's the real proto-Final Fantasy game, but a lot of the stuff in Final Fantasy II, both plot-wise, character-wise, and setting-wise, ends up getting used up later on. Town names, enemy sprites, sort of plot beats.
Yeah. I believe even Sid was invented in 2. I don't think FF1 had a Sid, because I don't think FF1 had any character names, really.
FF1 did not have a Sid. FF1 had a couple of character names in the remake. The only one that really matters, and, this one's for Leggy, is the merchant's name is Underhill in the caravan.
Okay. Well, this was kind of special in that it doesn't matter which way we go. It's both the same length. But wood golems are the one thing we definitely don't want to see. Wizards are fine.
Yep.
At least as long as they are not ambushes.
Because they will obliterate the party pretty swiftly in an ambush. again, high-powered AoE magic users against our... I mean, we're doing fine on hit points, at least. I mean, guys at 200.
Yeah, and now we are gonna check how bad the wizards actually are. They're kinda rare, so I don't really know. And we see some fancy spells. Okay, now we're just gonna die, right? Don't think AoE Fire 9 is something that we are gonna survive, no.
Yeah, no, we're not surviving this.
But I got to show up some nice spells.
Yeah, but the wizard...
I call worse.
Look at it this way, though. The wizard failed to send Furion to Dissidia, so it was fine.
Indeed, indeed.
Alright, well, shipping more Royal Guards off.
And we're already on the red carpet. Hello, what golem?
Well, this went decently smoothly, other than
No.
getting to show off that wizards are actually dangerous, right? No, this is actually
not.
awful.
It was pretty awful.
It was like, what, 4 wood golems?
Good shot, me. I totally forgot to heal. So yeah, coming up next is a small little gauntlet of 3 encounters, of which we just hope to survive the first 2, because it makes the third one a lot better if Rickard survives until then. So yeah, consisting of 2 times Royal Guards, and then the Emperor with a bit stronger entourage.
Yep. Second Royal Guard pack's only a pack of 2. That's not so bad.
Yeah. I mean, this gauntlet has not been trolling me a lot, except last time, of course. But I mean, as you can see, if you just die closer to the end, then you have to do all those fights again. Nice first strike, though. This really helps. So the Wood Golem is the annoying, like, HP bank, and the Emperor is what can... If something kills you, it would most likely be the Emperor, because he has AoE spells. But then again, even if a Royal Guard just survives, having 2 enemies that can just kill a character every turn is one too many. Now we get to see the Blood Sword for the first time. So what does the Blood Sword do? Each hit of the Blood Sword deals exactly 1/16 of the enemy's max HP. So if you were to get off 16 hits, then the character just dies. And we were faster than Wood Golem and got an incredibly awesome fight.
Nice.
Which I've never seen before.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. First strike, Ricard, 7 hits on the first swing was actually all really good.
Yeah, but yeah. I'll take it.
Nope, no, never gonna complain about the good RNG on the Emperor fight here.
So yeah, now we have beaten the Emperor, so we are done, right? We have saved the world.
Yeah, Emperor's dead. We're good. Everybody can go home now, right? Look, we're having
Time
a party.
for dancing. Layla is even there watching. Where Guy is, no one knows. Probably dancing with the beavers.
But yeah, I mean, this was a lot of fun. This was great, right? We're good.
Yeah. And suddenly we got the message. We have a new emperor. So the Dark Knights that we've seen, which, if I had mashed too fast, you could have seen it was Leon. Maria's brother decided, hey.
I mean, we did teleport the Emperor to Final Fantasy II, so...
He just wants to become the new big emperor, apparently. Wasn't that well educated? But yeah, so now we are gonna talk to Sid. We want an airship. We need one. And basically, I prefer the series that we are just killing Sid, because, I mean, we are alone. We get his airship very surprisingly. And no one knows what has actually happened. Officially he died, but it's the way he died. Yeah. Bye-bye, Sid.
Aww. Rest in peace, Sid. I'm sure we'll never see you in other Final Fantasy games.
Definitely not. So yeah, saving here because the encounter ambushes can actually be really horrible. Ever since we've been in the Leviathan, the encounters got upgraded. And Boldfishers have AoE Thunderbolt attack. Thunderbolt 10, I believe it is.
Aw, that'll sting an awful lot.
Yeah. So yeah, bye ship, hello airship.
And now it's not just a taxi service. Now we actually own the airship. We've got the keys. He gave us the keys.
Well, we took it from his cold corpse, but yeah.
Okay, so we're terrible, but that's fine.
Now, you know, those that survive are the heroes and make the story alive, so... But yeah, now we are up to Palmysia Castle. Landing on top just so we can fall down 6th floor. And we are still surprisingly healthy for that.
Yep.
And now we just climb up all the way again.
Is it just me, or do the amoebas look like Christmas trees?
Oh, it's probably right. Also saw that wood golem. No one cares about that wood golem yet.
Oh, they're runnable here? That's useful.
Yeah. Those generals, though, those are a pain. I'm actually not sure how to get rid of them. So generals are basically have magic defense like Lamia Queen, so it can take forever to get them away. And their physicals just kill. Every turn they will do a physical attack that one-shots the character.
That's very bad.
Yeah, they are not friendly fellows.
Thankfully, the regular unpromoted Lamias and not the Lamia Queens are okay. Oh god. Oh, Ricard just got tagged.
Yeah, he was bound to die sooner or later anyways. Already getting ready to fulfill his final role. And remember Gotos. Yeah, that guy also doesn't matter here.
We don't care about anything here other than generals, it seems like.
And we also care about those guys. Which probably aren't even too bad. They're just kinda rare.
Chat making note that the Dragoon always dies. I mean, it starts in Final Fantasy II and it just goes from there.
Did we still spell Dragoon B-A-R-D?
Chad is concerned that we're carrying a dead guy around, and I just want to be very clear, we're not just carrying a dead guy around, we're carrying a dead guy around in front of us.
We are using him basically as a meat shield. I mean, look in comparison at Dragon Quest, where you carry a coffin behind you.
And the
Which
thing
of the
is,
two make more sense?
you don't have that coffin until the character dies.
Yeah.
Which means you take the time when that character dies to build a coffin to drag it around behind you. Needless to say.
Yeah, so we're almost done here.
The only thing that we really need to remember is to get that blood sword off of Ricard if you didn't already. I didn't see if you did.
I did it right after leaving the town.
Yep.
I mean, I will save at the end of this anyway. Once I equip the next character, like not save before that, but...
Yep. We need that blood sword, otherwise the run is dead.
It's one of the things that has happened. But I was able to reload even then, so...
Yep. I mean, anybody who speedruns literally any of the Final Fantasy games, there's always a thing which is, if I forget to do this, my run is completely dead.
Yeah, also maybe to note, like, an encounter that you rarely see and it's also more on the lowest floors. There's also an encounter called Imperial Shadow here, which is basically a zombie version of the Emperor. Whatever we're gonna do with that idea, if it's just the Gero of FF2, no one knows, but yeah, that's the thing.
Look, another red carpet.
Yeah, and another general. There's a captain, so that doesn't change anything, really.
Burning through a few more teleport tomes here.
That should have been the last one, I'm not completely sure though. Alright, and now we are confronting Leon, and Leon is like, I don't think.
Leon is all, I am the Emperor, and then...
The Emperor's back, and it's like, muhahaha.
The Emperor's all like, you couldn't teleport me away far enough, and now I am the Emperor.
No, we've teleported him to hell apparently, and he is just the hell inside it. Back. So then again, it's not like you can really invade his hell from the... It's kinda weird. But yeah, and notoriously, someone has to die.
It is time for the heroic sacrifice of yet another character. Bye, Ricard.
I guess he didn't jump high enough to escape from this calamity. But yeah, then again, Joseph was also unsuccessful in suplexing the rock, so...
Aww.
I only just thought about it and thought that this would actually look really awesome.
And of course, the gigantic laser beam obliterates Palmesia Castle, and it is now replaced by this thing.
Yeah. Basically Underworld Castle, but we can't even enter from the outside.
And of course, for Final Fantasy fans, as anybody knows, that the giant laser beam actually teleported the castle to Final Fantasy IX, where it was renamed Burmecia. The Emperor is very powerful. The Emperor.
So yeah, now we have Leon in the party. And finally, our names make sense.
Hooray!
Hooray, except we have one character inflicted with darkness, so we can't even see it. Don't worry, we can change that. Wait a second.
So
we need to get that much time, because this is not world record anyway.
Now, a solid pace, but not world record pace. But yeah, so now Leon gets the blood sword, Leon gets some of that extra gear that we'd picked up along the way.
Yeah, we equipped Leon with some strength increasing equipment, but you would think blood sword deals percentage damage, so I equipped strength, which is also something I thought for a long time. But strength also increases the amount of hits we do. So it will hope... It's like in theory, most often it saves us a turn on the final boss.
I mean, also in the final boss, we're going to find one of the most annoying things in a Final Fantasy game, like, literally ever. But silly question, Nikki, why can haste miss?
Why are you surprised? I mean, we are talking about that even the final boss and every other can ambush you. No, so I'm not completely sure. I know that it misses, like, if he has haste, for example, and, like, you don't improve it.
Yeah.
Then it also is displayed as a miss. But yeah. Also, as you can see, Guy has 218 HP, which at least means he survives one AoE attack, which is great.
I mean, that's...
For some reason, I had an all-time low last time of like 157, which meant that we just did not survive anything.
I mean, speaking of which, that was a failed run from all three of those salamanders, and now the team is on fire. Blaze 16 is massively powerful.
Yeah, like the Jade Passage only has 2 unrunnable encounters. White Dragon in the first 2 floors and Green Dragon in the last 2. But ambushes. Ambushes are really evil. Because almost everything can kill us as an ambush. Because of those powerful AoE attacks.
Yeah, you'll notice that Leon has nearly 1100 health when he joins the party. If you've actually been like fighting and grinding and working on it and everything, you can be maybe not up that high, but close to it if you're playing casually and really trying hard. But yeah, potentially even higher. Definitely on Guy, you'd probably be around 13 or 1400 by now.
But yeah, sadly keeping Leon alive doesn't really help because he doesn't have the shield levels to properly run away. Let's just sell a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And sell the ultimatum. Might as well mention what the ultimatum even does. So the ultimatum in theory is very powerful. The problem is just that the Ultima scales with the combined magic levels of the character that uses it. So if you have, like, a mage that has learned a lot of spells, great. If you have, like, characters like these, which don't have any spells, then Ultima is absolutely useless.
But we stopped to grab some haste tomes in the hidden shop there, because we need those for the final fight. And since I mentioned that they are going to miss during the actual final fight, and I apologize in advance, Nikki, for bringing that bad magic onto you.
You didn't mention that he casts slower over and over. It actually hits with that.
I also didn't want to talk about that.
Dispel. I'm still not sure what Dispel actually does in this version. I'm pretty sure it's bugged. But, yeah.
Yep, but it's fine.
Or I'd probably remove something like Berserk, which we do not care about in this route. Alright, and time for the final dungeon. Pandemonium.
Into hell we go.
I'm meeting a good friend again.
Oh no. There is one particular enemy which we just do not want to see at all if we can help ourselves, and that's Lamia Queen.
Yeah, Lamia Queen is just a huge, has a huge variety in how successful it is. As you can see, just now we got it like with 2 attempts. That was fine. We can also sit there forever, basically. Can't just be a massive time thing.
But yeah, lots of resetting of the formation, lots of saving in Pandemonium, because this is a haul.
Yeah, so this is like what the last segments are basically all have the ability, if they go really well, they can save time. But if not, like my best Emperor to like final dungeon is 7.5 minutes. So World Record right now is like 15 or 16 minutes. Okay, here we got also to a special enemy, the Mithril Golem. There are 2 enemies, which might or might not be runnable, which means, in this case, the Mithril Golem might be with an invisible Mithril Golem, or with invisible, with zero, yeah, with invisible Mithril Golem, or with 0 Death Riders. If it's with Death Riders, it's unrunnable. If it's with a Mithril Golem, then it's runnable. So you just try out and reset if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Which in this case isn't even bad because you can't fight this one anyway. Even if you wanted to.
But yeah, Flipping Tome is going to try and manipulate off a better encounter here. That qualifies. Beast Demons are fantastic.
Yeah, if they let you. If not, they're like you could try to teleport them, but usually you don't.
Yeah.
This has worked so great last time, right?
Oh yeah, it'll absolutely work a second time. It's fine. Okay.
I mean, I have had some points where I really believe that there might be an RTA viable way to do item changes to switch from one encounter into another.
I mean, that would kind of be the holy grail in Pandemonium, wouldn't it? That would kind of...
Yeah, but at the same time, with some of the things, you probably need like some tacit to find out if that's truly a thing.
Yep.
If there's an RTA viable way to do so.
But Yeah, there's a couple of manipulations in the GBA versions that would absolutely be the holy grail. Pandemonium for FF2, Lich Manip for FF1 would be the holy grail of FF1, basically.
But yeah, just noting, did you see how much gil just that Lamia encounter gave? Just how much money gets thrown at you here?
And we're not going to use any of it.
No. We just got 22k. Like, just in comparison, that's 22 teleport tomes.
Yeah. It's a little bit annoying that the hidden shop on the way here does not sell teleport tomes, but nature of the thing. Oh, third tries the charm there at least. Got both of them on the third shot.
Yeah, I was already holding my fingers, like if both again refuse and I'll just reset.
You were ready. You were set.
The game probably knew. You know how it is, the game always knows. Oh, probably not. Okay, let's try. Cause it's just one.
Please go away. Please go away. Please go away. Please go away.
Actually, single target Thunder. No, it's AoE.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... He just has a really high magic defense. Alright, first try. Guess it's not even that far off average.
Yeah. So Time Wanderer.
Really?
So just a question from chat. Considering how underleveled your party your party is, why was that spell so ineffective?
Spells in AoE aren't strong at all. Like, it probably also has to do like with the Beast Demon stats, which are just not the strongest. But in general, spells is... I believe as AoE they are always just counted as divided by 8. It's a guess, but that's basically how it feels like. That's just how few damage it deals. Like, if they were to cast a single target, you could be sure that one character would die.
And die very, very much to like multiple times their base health and damage.
Yeah.
But we're getting close. We're almost there.
After this, we only have 3 more floors. So this one is probably as long as all 3 together. Because, yeah, these shortcuts that we have are just helping a ton.
Alright, here we go. Please go away. Please? Look, you don't beg, but I will.
Nah, I'm confident that we are in the comfortable slot of not so making estimate. Even so, estimate is coming closer and closer. Let's first go through the teleporter.
Yeah, I was thinking that with a really good Pandemonium, you were still pacing sub 230 up until 2 floors ago.
Yeah. Sub 230 was actually there for quite a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you had it. You at least had a shot at it up until I think it was about 2 floors ago. Which is pretty good, honestly. Like, there's a lot of RNG in the second half of this run.
Yeah, like the early game felt bad. The mid game was apparently pretty good. Just going from ultimatum time. But yeah, I mean, I did not get the sick late game RNG that I would have needed. Okay, one more encounter. Let's go here. The encounters on the final floor are usually more fancy. Or not. But we had a chance.
Well, enjoy getting hit by Blizzard 16, everybody. Enjoy.
Like here the encounters like King Behemoth.
Yep.
No. Cute.
Now everybody goes in the front now because we're about to go. We're at the end. We made it. But everybody goes in front because we definitely do not want the Emperor one-shotting Leon. That would be very bad. So Leon absolutely cannot stay in front by himself. on second thought, let's try that a second time. You know what? Let's run this one back. Let's run this.
I mean, I could have tried with reviving and stuff, but let's just not.
Let's just run this one back. That didn't happen, everybody. Just don't worry about it, everybody. That didn't happen. Leon's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
So yeah, we are basically betting on Leon to do the thing.
We're hoping to land a couple of hastes, and come on.
Maria dying. That's a good start for getting hastes off. Let's go with that. Miriam is gonna do a good haste now, right? Yeah, reviving basically to give the Emperor more targets to hit.
Yep.
Nice. And it doesn't even matter.
Enjoy the best animation in the game, everybody.
So yeah, the Meteor kills everyone except Leon. As an AoE. 10 hits. Yeah, sadly as a single target,
it will dust Leon off for about 2,600 damage. Alright, that's 2.
So as you could see, like, we had 10 hits, which is really awesome.
Yeah, we're definitely one swing away there, but Emperor went first and crushed Leon. Oh, there we go. Yeah, finally.
Ambush just doesn't help.
But this time we got a first strike, so we don't have to worry about anybody dying on first turn.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, we run into the final boss, we talk to him, and then we get things like first strike and ambush.
7.
We need 16 hits total. Flare only deals like 800 to 900, so it's fine.
Yeah, you should survive this.
And time.
Very nice. So yeah, 232.26. Very, very nice time.
Can't complain. But yeah, that's basically, you also had some good parts, which is why I can't really do the estimate less. Like 235 would really be pushing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of inconsistency in a couple of spots in the game. 235 is a little hard to come by.
So yeah, it was just a good run, decent run. Kinda average in the end, I guess. But average is good. For a marathon, you take average.
I mean, I want to be really clear that average for Nikki, everybody, is way better than average for nearly everybody else, also.
We do not look what this time would still be on the leaderboard, okay?
I want you to keep in mind that Nikki currently has not a lot of people run GBA, but she's got a 13-minute lead on number 2 on the GBA leaderboards.
Yeah, sadly the competition that was there for the game has not really stayed when Step Route came out. So the people that could come closer, yeah.
I mean,
The only 2 people with Step Route run PSP.
Yep, and it's a really intriguing speedrun to learn. You could learn it without step route. It's about a 3-hour run without step routing.
No, not that much. It's like 10 minutes at most that you lose.
Oh, it's not so bad.
I would say it's not that bad.
So
that's
for like,
because you don't influence the quality of the encounter with the step route. You only influence the amount. And like in the final dungeon, it doesn't really matter. It's like ±1.
That's fair.
It's like if you have 22 or 23. Let's be honest here, the influence is not that big.
Yeah, and both of the Dawn of Souls games are excellent speedruns, honestly. This one is actually, I think this is a lot better speedrun than people give it credit for. Certainly one worth learning.
People believe always that it's just throw teleport tomes and such. But as you can see, like in the first hour, you almost don't even have teleport tomes. And yeah, then you still have like step route, which you can look out for. You have like different strats with blood sword. I know someone even gets the Sage's Wisdom, I believe, to increase Maria's intelligence at the Emperor fight. So that the fire deals more damage to the wood golem.
Yep.
Which we didn't need, but it's just things you can do.
It's a nice thing to have. It sets your magic. It sets the stat to 99 for the duration of the battle, which lets you, of course, hit really hard temporarily.
Looking at chat, there are not even people that run FF14. According to speedrun.com, FF14 is the most run Final Fantasy. Which, yes, we are talking about mostly dungeon raid runs, but still, according to the number of people. But yeah, that's FF2. I hope you all enjoyed it. Like as I said, there's also Soul of Reavers, which you in theory can run. I have done it once. The problem is though that you basically just grind a bit of stats and run through a Pandemonium again. Even harder to change. Like the annoying encounters just... It's worse to get through, so it's not really fun to show off, even at least at the moment.
That's fine. This is still a really impressive run.
Yeah. 3% run is where it's at for me.
Well, are we ready to wrap this party up then, Nikki?
Yeah, I think we are.
Obviously, we've still got near 5 more days of this going on, everybody. So it'll be really exciting again. Stay tuned though. Of course, we are now setting up. We're doing the Quickie World 1 and 2 relay at this point coming up, right? That should be a lot of fun.
Definitely looking forward to it.
For anybody who doesn't know what it is, it's a really good Kaizo hack that is a good challenge, and there's a lot of good Kaizo runners in the ladies scene, so they're gonna give us a show. They'll be great.